What's up, guys? Diplex here again. Welcome back to Men of War Assault Squad 2 and our very own original Mars series, back with episode 2. And as you've already noticed, the introduction to episode 2 is greatly and vastly different than episode 1, mainly because episode 1 took me way too long to make, and in the end, we all kind of care more about the action than all the fancy little animations and camera pans and footage early on. Although it is nice, I won't drop that entirely. I think I'll do that in the future for about every Men of War video that I make, just to keep a kind of a high standard of quality, you know? Gotta step into the 2018 kind of level, so to speak. But back here with episode 2. As you've already noticed as well, I've not really done any explanation to as what's going on. You will find that in the description box below. So instead of me trying to remember everything that I want to have said, I'm just gonna write it all out for you. It's pretty simple. This is after episode 1, not like a year, but not a month. Somewhere in between. It'll be in the description, and this is exactly why I don't leave it up to chance and me sort of improvising what's going on. So read about it down there. We are about to enjoy the actual first battle on Mars, and the reason why the intro was kind of long with all the pans is because I wanted to really point out and show how incredibly detailed this camp here is, this ex-Russian mining camp. It was kind of like international/Russian. It was obviously purchased by kind of a Russian company when the entire kind of mining industry on Mars was privatized. So once Ivonium was found, and when Nomos kind of bought out all the other mining companies, this place was kind of abandoned. And since the arrival on Mars by the Chinese, they've used this as a FOB. This is kind of a forward operating base, and it looks beautiful. We're going to take a few more looks here around, and as you can tell, it's got a rugged feel, almost like a post-apocalyptic kind of touch to it. I think Grumpy Kitten Ace, which by the way is the creator of this map, don't forget to check out his YouTube channel down in the description box below, uploading plenty of cool speed builds, and is quite active on YouTube recently, so do not forget to miss that. He's a very talented mapper. He's gone a little nuts with the detail, like straight up insane. So this is some super high quality stuff, and the main focus of this battle is going to be on the extremely intense close quarter fighting that is going to occur here in the center. The US, I'm going to say it, US Space Marines. It sounds so funny to say Space Marines, but there's no shame in using the word Space Marines in a different era or kind of theme and story or universe than Warhammer, because a Space Marine is still kind of logical. So you know that the United States Space Corps was almost the 6th branch of the US Armed Forces created during the Cold War. Almost to be. Almost. They almost did that. It was planned. But in this series we have. It stands under the United States Space Command, which is under the Department of Defense. And I made a little logo, as you saw earlier on in Photoshop. All made by me, based on the regular United States Marine Corps logo, and it says, now I can't remember it, it says something in Latin, and it means our galaxy. I can remember that, but I can't remember the exact word. It could have been hard, instead of Semper Fidelis, because I think that will leave that to the regular Marine Corps. So everyone's thinking about the war going on Earth and everything, and there's really nothing going on Earth, so check out the description. Once again, I cannot voice how important it is that you read everything down there, so that you guys get an idea of the action. And if you only came here for some sick-ass action, then I don't blame you for that. I think I've taken too much of your time with the info and all this talking. Hopefully you haven't minded what the fuck? Hopefully you haven't been too frustrated hearing me talk for all this time. We're gonna enjoy a really good battle. It's nice to be back. I took a little break from Men of War, and that is why I need to kind of talk off. I need to just get it out of my system. I've wanted to say all these things to you, but I've got some more meme-ish kind of videos coming out. I do have a Team 10 video. The map is so good, I cannot drop it, just because it's very unhistorical and random. I think some of you will enjoy it. I think we're gonna have a good time. But after that, I have a lot of historical videos planned. I have a Donbass Crisis series planned as soon as all the maps get ready for it. I have more World War II on the way. We're gonna take it easy on the super fortresses and stuff. We've done a lot of it recently. If there's something new, or if someone sends me a map of something, then I will do it. But we're not gonna milk that. Let's jump straight into the battle, and I'll see you guys in a second. Let's get that sweet action going. So the firefights are gonna be a bit longer now. They're gonna be more drawn out and awesome. More cinematic as well. And why is that? Well, episode 1, we used a lot of red rising assets. And I told Grumpy for this video that please don't mix that. I know there's a lot of cool stuff that you can build maps with and all that, but the AI messes with the rest of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 mod, which we mainly use for this, and it kind of makes people die instantly. People are too accurate and whatnot. But in this case, he's managed to pull this masterpiece off with what he had, and oh boy, we're gonna enjoy a crazy firefight as the United States Space Marines are attacking the Chinese here. We're gonna see a larger variety of weapons. Gun sounds are, as previously, fucking amazing. So the Chinese knew this attack was coming. They've not received reinforcements yet. But we can develop this from here. I want this to be a lighter series. More action-packed and more amazing in that sense and regard. Look at that. Look at this. These guys are officially United States Space Marines. I just laugh. I crack up at that. There's something so incredibly fun and amazing about that it just makes me so happy. So we've got the some of the weaponry we've seen previously. We heard a Chinese soldier die, and we're still moving up here. As you can tell, there's a nicer feel to the firefights in general. So we're gonna be probably entering the base soon, unless the Chinese can hold us back. We have a limited number for the attackers and defenders. I'm not gonna disclose them because it kind of does remove some of the excitement. But I can tell you that it's not built to give one side a victory. Based on the advantages that a defender and attacker has, or the disadvantages rather of being an attacker, I've decided to go for 2-to-1 ratio. Of course, the US would want to be kind of prepped when getting involved in the war. And once again, do not forget to check out the comment section down below on what the hell's going on with the world and why the United States sent a whole battalion of United States Space Marines to Mars, even though it's Nomos territory, essentially. Well, it's not entirely. Of course, the base property is, but still. We've got some Chinese soldiers defending that side. They kind of knew this attack was coming. We're starting to get close. How are we doing on this side? Chinese are still holding it back, though. Look at this. Cool position. We see some casualties here and there. Fantastic combat. I love this. This is so awesome, and it's our own little universe. A lot of people had questions about the logic used in the previous episode and when establishing that story, but I think I had it all tricked out. No, I think I had it all kind of checked out. It all kind of made sense in my head, and it's obviously based off of a fictional world, not the real world. So things that wouldn't make sense compared to today's Earth doesn't necessarily have to govern what happens in a Mars series depicting events that take place in almost 20 years from now. You know what I mean? So that's my idea with the whole thing. Taking a lot of casualties trying to enter the base, but it looks like we've depleted the Chinese forces holding the outer perimeter. So already you can see some people not wearing the kind of combat helmets. I like the variety in uniforms and everything. That guy's gonna patch up, perhaps. Oh, that's getting really close with the enemy. We might see a few more grenades being used as well. They're being thrown quite liberally, so to speak. How are we doing on this side? So far, we have not punched through this defense line. We're still taking casualties, trying to do so, but we're getting closer. It's going to be a struggle, of course. Keep the numbers or the ratio in mind. Oh, look at them crawling up! Well-trained Space Marines. Obviously, most of the newly formed Space Marine Corps has taken members out of Delta Team, SEAL Team, and obviously, like, veteran Marines of the very active and veteran, like, battalions of the regular Marine Corps. So this isn't... And I'm not gonna go ahead and... Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say that, because I know I've got a fuck ton of Marines, or ex-Marines watching my channel. I just know, over the last year, I mean, this is the kind of content we all enjoy, and I just know I have a lot of ex-service members. So, avoiding being absolutely destroyed by a bunch of Marines, I'm not gonna go ahead and say that the Marine Corps isn't a good fighting force, an elite fighting force. It's an incredibly good fighting force. But these Space Marines are just simply taking the best out of the Marines and the other special operators. Because in space, that's where the most elite members are needed. You can't send anyone into space. Not any Marine or not any Ranger or any Special Forces soldier could just be sent up. You need the best of the best there to go sent up. So that's what I wanted to say. You could probably take members here and take the Marine Corps and have them fight the Space Marine Corps, I suppose, but or the Space Corps on Earth, and you might get a similar or even fight. But for this kind of high value and extremely important battle and objective, they've drafted the best into the Space Corps, so it's a very elite fighting force. Look at that. So they're still holding the center. Of course, we have barely entered the base. We're starting to get there. It's going to be a nightmare clearing this up. We're going to take a lot of casualties up close, but we're moving up. We're getting into some good firing positions. We've got a nice variety of weapons. Now, look at that. Not to go off track, but we actually have Warhammer 40k assets mixed with this, so if I want to fast forward a year into the future, we could give these guys like plasma guns and stuff, but with like kind of human and earthly based realistic military uniforms instead of like crazy Imperial Guards armor and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We're starting to really enter now the main entrance here. Like, there's a lot of Chinese forces holding or defending, and we're taking fire from about every direction as soon as we cross in. We don't exactly even know where the Chinese are held up, so taking this is a nightmare. We're gonna have to clear every single corner here. But as soon as the platoon attacking on the left side makes it through, we should have an easier time. I know it's gonna be hard for you guys to see what's going on now. That guy's like literally right behind him. Oh, he's gonna be shot down. Grenade's gonna explode elsewhere. So they're gonna establish themselves in a slightly better situation right now, but grenades are still flying absolutely everywhere. This is crazy. We've knocked out almost all the defenders on this side. Great news. The antennas are flying. Yeah, this mining camp has an interesting design to it. Very earthly in a way. Almost a little post-APOC, but I like it. It's so incredibly detailed that it makes for some of the most amazing close-quarter fighting you can get in this game. Here we go. United States Space Marines starting to clear the way now. They're moving up. Oh, and that side is completely knocked out. Now they're going to be joining the fight together with the main force attacking here. More grenades are being thrown. This is crazy. This is just insane. I'm gonna shut up for a second. I've been talking non-stop now for the last 10 minutes, so we're gonna get a little nice camera view here and try and not make you nauseous and give you a good idea of what's going on. I think. Do you guys want to do an above view? Actually, they can be very confusing, so I'm gonna try and situate myself over some Chinese defenders here. This is where a lot of the action is gonna go down anyway. Oh, yo! Containers and shit flying. This is crazy. Dude, we're getting some super intense close quarter fighting right now. A lot of Space Marines have died in the conquest so far, but we're getting closer. This could have... Don't quote me on that. Oh, but this could have been a Chinese victory. We have no idea how many Americans remain. I think that could have been one of the last waves. But it looks like they've cleared out the camp. Let's take a quick look at casualties here. Wow, as you can tell, we're gonna mark the Chinese in red and the Americans in yellow. And as you can tell, it's been a very, very bloody battle. I do think for once, I think the defenders have actually taken more casualties than the attackers. That's a refreshing view. That's usually not the case. But we've knocked out the Chinese camp here. This is amazing. Let me know in the comment section down below. Ooh, almost had to release like the biggest burp ever. I don't think I've ever burped on camera. Let me know where you would like to see the series go next. Absolutely fantastic map. The users are going to clear this up and they're going to report back. But as I said, I want to take this series into a lighter, kind of funnier approach. Words around the street is that a Wasteland 2 series is drawing closer, so that's something I'd be interested in sharing with you, your ideas. I think that is probably the most successful series I've ever run, and it truly was a series too. God, the passion I had for that. Anyway, let me know what you guys would like to see next. Got more Men of War coming up. As I said, I did take a little break previously just to enjoy some other games and free time. Basically, I worked myself to death in January, hardly slept, and just when February came around, I got extremely tired. YouTube is messing things up too. I think views are different as well. Like, we'll see how this does, and yeah, stay tuned for some more free man guerrilla warfare as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys liked the video, be sure to like down below as well, and I'll see you guys in another video coming out later tonight. And then, of course, I've got some nice stuff planned for tomorrow and Saturday. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon again. Ciao.